Hi everyone, so today I'll be going over my empties for the month of May. Like always, I'll have these separated into categories in case you're only interested in certain items. To start off with skincare, specifically sheet masks, this month I went through 4 masks. I feel like before I really enjoyed these, then not so much, and now I think they're just okay. So I'm going to try to finish up all the sheet masks that I have, keep notes, and then only repurchase the ones that I truly love. And so these, I think they're okay. I wouldn't repurchase because, again, I have a lot, but they do the job of preventing my skin from getting extremely dry after the shower. Going on to a toner that I really love. I think I've repurchased this about 3 or 4 times, and that is from the brand I'm from in the rice toner. So this one, when it's full, obviously, there's 2 layers and you have to shake it up before you use it. You can either use it with a like cotton round, without one. I would use it with one, and I feel like I would really like how it left my skin borderline silky, and it played well with my serum, moisturizer, and sunblock step. So I think a few months ago, my sister discovered that Costco was selling a jumbo size in a 2-pack. I mean, it's Costco, they sell jumbo packs and everything. And so she got one and I got one. So I think after we finish up that one, because I have it currently open, I do like it. I just don't know if the formula is the same or if it's this whole conspiracy theory that products that are sent to Costco aren't as good as if you were to find them in the actual like retail stores or whatever. But I feel like I don't really notice too much of a difference. I mean, maybe it's because I have that in the back of my mind that I feel like, oh, I don't feel like my skin is as silky or as bright. The brightening effect that I got from this product, it's a bit minimal. So yeah, really love this product, would repurchase it. Going on to one that I have not found in TJ Maxx stores. Maybe a year ago, I saw this product and I thought I have enough to last me like 2 years. I'm good. No, I just powered through all of my cream, and not even powered through. I just really like it. So I used all of it. And that is the Klairs Rich Moist Soothing Cream. So this is a very basic moisturizer, but I feel like it's how some people feel about CeraVe or Cetaphil or just their favorite brand. It just works well with my skin. And right now I have currently opened a Skin 1004. I think it's the Tone Up moisturizer or something. And I feel like that consistency is a little bit more like a serum, a lotion. And this one is legit a cream. It almost seems when I used it during the summer that it'd be too much, but no, it's just perfect. So towards the end, I was saving it for my nighttime use because now that it's summertime, in the morning, I jump straight from my serum step to my sunblock. That's all to say, if I were to find this product, I would repurchase. My sister told me that Claire's is sold at Ulta, but they don't have this specific product, which I don't know why because I really like it. So yeah, would repurchase that in a heartbeat if I saw it, but I'm not taking a chance ordering through Asian sites like YesStyle, Style Korean, Stylevana. Just I want to play it safe or just wait a little bit more. All right, I think that is it for skincare. Let's go on to body care. I had this one spray from a small business, Sugar Mama Fragrances. The company is based out of California. So maybe like 2 years or so ago, I placed an order. I got some sample body sprays, which I feel like that should be the way to go. This is in Dulce de Leche. So if it's still the same as it was before, there are 2 different types of body mist formula, one with alcohol, one without alcohol. And I personally like the one with alcohol because I tend to spray my clothing and not my skin. So maybe if I were to spray my skin, I would want the non-alcohol because it'd be less drying. But I feel like that, I don't know, somehow I feel like the alcohol helps this or the scent stay on my clothing. So this is one that I would put on my body after the shower, and I honestly didn't really like it initially. I felt like there was almost this like burnt caramel odor, or you know how sometimes when you put vitamin C and you get a little bit of this like hot dog water smell. It was just a scent that I didn't really care for, that was a little bit savory. But when I came out of the shower, every so often my sister would be like, oh, you smell like sweet or good or like a little syrupy, and then I knew it was this product because it wasn't anything else I was putting on. So while I wouldn't purchase this particular scent, I might go purchase from Sugar Mama Fragrances later down the line. But I think I mentioned this in almost every video. I have way too many products, especially body care, that I bought uh 2 or 3 years ago, which I mean, I think hopefully fingers crossed they're not expired, but this one wasn't. Okay, I don't think this is body care, but I mean, technically I used it in the shower, so I think it would qualify. This is a shower melt from the brand Halls. I always want to say shower steamers, but they just market it differently, slightly. My sister got this in a kind of variety pack at Marshall's, maybe a pack of 10 or so. Normally it was $6.99 and somehow it marked down to $3, which I think that's a really good deal. So she and I had not tried this particular scent. It's menthol eucalyptus. So I'm assuming it's menthol plus eucalyptus. And I was thinking, man, this is going to be really powerful in the shower. And it was a little bit on the lighter side. I think out of the 3 scents in the variety pack, the strongest one is the cherry, though I don't really care too much about that scent. Then it's the honey lemon, but that one's a little bit light. And then oddly enough, this menthol eucalyptus was a little bit light too. But then again, since the pack was so cheap, I think maybe you can like go crazy and put two or so, two or something. With this one, it's really thick. So we don't use it with our soap savers on the bottom. It goes directly on the ground. Yeah, and that normally lasts the entire shower, which is what, like 30 minutes versus the Bath and Body Works one. If you put it directly on the floor, close to the water stream, that lasts maybe 10 to 15 minutes. So yeah, my sister would only repurchase from Halls if it was on sale. Like she would never buy it full price. Though honestly, my favorite brand of shower steamers is from a small business. I think you can find them on Etsy and Amazon and potentially their own website, and that is the Herbal Zen. And man, I think it's Cold Kicker or something like that. That was very powerful. I think I could look into making my own shower steamers, but that seems very convoluted to me right now. So for now, these are just okay. All right, is that it for body care? Yes, I have a bunch of home fragrance. So I'll try to separate this into the wax section and then the candle section. Let's go on to small business wax pieces. I have a lot from South of Sanity, well, a lot for me. So let me go on to those scents. So I don't know if he still does his samples in this little like, is it cellophane bag? Yeah, I think cellophane bag, but I have two. We have Pumpkin Fire to the right and Decay to the left. I'll talk about Decay because I think I have notes for both of them. So this one, the fragrance notes are dirt, mud, decaying leaves. So I put in this little sample, it lasted 2+ days, and I put it in my Julienne hot plate wax warmer. It's the adjustable one. I am losing the sun right now, so if it looks a little bit darker, sorry. Where was I going with this? So for Decay, I believe on the website he has that this is in like high up in the spooky scale, maybe 8 or 9 out of 10. And I personally don't really agree with that, but it's because I'm really into gardening, and this reminds me a lot of opening up a fresh bag of dirt. I really like that scent. It also initially smelled very like green to me. Normally when I think of Decay, I think of like stuff that are rotting, more brown smelling, if I were to describe that. So I was initially thinking that this was going to smell like root rot potentially, or like a bag of dirt that you've opened that has been rained on. So maybe there's like little mushrooms in there, but that's not what I got. I think this is a really, really nice scent, especially if you like being outdoors, planting, so on and so forth. So yeah, this one I had it on medium in my hot plate, and I think it could even project well in my space if I had set it to low. So I didn't need to add a lot of heat to this. I think for Virgil's scents, his gourmands struggled for me, or at least the ones that I've purchased and finished previously, but I feel like his more spooky scents perform better. So that's a little, I guess, tidbit that I found. Moving on to Pumpkin Fire. So this scent is definitely not for me. So I had it going in the bathroom currently. My parents are out, so gung-ho with the burning candles and the wax melts in places that I normally wouldn't have any home fragrance in. So this one, the fragrance notes are pumpkin, smoky sweet wood, oud. I put it in a 13-watt warmer, which I think it definitely needed more heat, in my bathroom. And it was a light medium, like barely a light medium. And this one smells very savory to me, almost like, is it mesquite or like that wood that you would use to cook on a barbecue or in a barbecue? I can't think right now, but basically it leans savory to me, almost like barbecue sauce, or like a sweet and kind of meaty type of scent. So this one, while I wouldn't want this in my space, I think this one would definitely perform had I purchased this in a clamshell and I used one of the pieces, because in my very small bathroom with only 13 watts, it did perform. So there is pumpkin fire, not my scent, but I think if that is your scent, it would perform. Ooh, speaking of which, another one that is not my scent. I really dislike this one, and I thought I was going to like it. So this is Virgil's Haunted Library. So this one does not come with the fragrance notes, so I used a dino, or kind of like a label maker, old books, sweet tobacco, and musk. So initially I wanted to warm this in my workspace, but then I got really self-conscious. I'm like, oh, what if people don't like the scent? And then I'm going to have to be like, that's my wax, and then do the walk of shame out of the office. Oh man, this is like books that maybe got rained on. They put them back on the shelves. 100, 200 years have passed, and there's like dust on them. I don't think mold, but definitely dust. It almost tickles my nose when I first smell it, and it's that feeling of you almost wanting to sneeze. There was sweet tobacco and musk listed on here, so I thought it was going to lean like kind of body care. Think of Bath and Body Works' Book Loft. But that's definitely not what I got. Excuse me, I had a coughing fit. It smells almost a little bit musty. So this is, I think, a little bit out of my, or a lot out of my comfort zone, and I just don't like it. I finished this underneath my candle lamp in the living room because that space is super open concept, high ceilings. So it got really lost in there. I put this whole, or like 4 pieces in a, what do you call it, in an empty candle jar, and just let it rip. And I could barely smell it unless I got really close to it. But then again, I think this would have performed better in my hot plate. But yeah, that one would definitely not repurchase. Next, going on to one that I would repurchase if I were to place an order. I think I still have about maybe 3 of Virgil's. Are these called clamshells? I'm having like a brain fog moment. But I have about 3 of these, and basically what I'm saying is I want to finish what I have before I purchase anything else from him. This one, Vintage Halloween, was more up my alley. I really like the black licorice and the root beer notes. So the scents are black licorice, root beer, cinnamon, and vanilla. So this one, the root beer, I think comes out more the later that you have this burning. I had this in my hot plate and it lasted about 2 or 3 days or so. It wasn't super strong, but it was definitely present. So I'd give it like a medium. The first scent that I get initially is black licorice, and it almost leans a little bit like black licorice jelly beans. The root beer doesn't smell like super bubbly, or like you just popped open or opened up a bottle of root beer. It's not fizzy or anything. And with the cinnamon, it's not like a spicy or craft store cinnamon. It smells more like a baking cinnamon, or like a cinnamon sugar, just like take out completely the sugar. Yeah, this one, I really liked it. It was very, I guess, watery or refreshing towards the end. And I liked it that since I tend to like candy type fragrances, this one was nice and it did perform. So yeah, I would get that one. Okay, one that I finished up in my candle crock. This is from Boots and Mascara, Angela, here on YouTube. I believe now she renamed her company to Wicks and Wander, I believe. I could be mistaken, but this is in the scent Coffee Delight. This one, creamy vanilla, peppermint, fresh, strong homebrew coffee, hot, sweet caramel, spicy cinnamon, steamed milk, sprinkles of hot cocoa, fluffy marshmallow cream, rich vanilla cupcakes, and brown sugar. So this is another one that I finished off in a candle crock, and I put it in the hallway outside of my sister's room, because I feel like this was my wild card scent for the order, because I don't really, or I think now I realize that I don't enjoy a lot of peppermints, actually, like chocolate with peppermint, coffee with peppermint. Basically anything with peppermint isn't really for me unless it's mixed in with, like, let's say a tree fragrance, or yeah, like a tree fragrance. I think this one, definitely the main notes that I get are the espresso and the chocolate, and then maybe the next note would be the peppermint. All the other notes, I don't know if I pick them up, but when this was going in the crock, those were the main notes that I got. It lasted about, I think, 2 or 3 days because I dumped this whole bag. And also, my family has told me now that they don't really like chocolate, well, except for my sister, that they don't really like smelling chocolate and wax because it makes them hungry, which honestly doesn't seem like a problem. But anyways, this is a scent that I wouldn't repurchase, but I would purchase again from Angela. I think I might have maybe 1 or 2 more pieces from her. But yeah, this one was good. And I think I want to say a few months ago, I tested out a cube in my hot plate and it performed. Some of Angela's wax, I found that putting it in a tea light was the best route. But this one, I think because of the fragrance notes, it did well without one or like in a regular warmer. Okay, another small business. We have one from Candles by Victoria in Mango Smoothie. This was back when the old owner was still around. Mango, papaya, lemon, peach, juicy, ripe, and enticing with a hint of creamy undertones. Simply delicious. So this one, I had it going, or I have it, it's still going in my candle crock. I just dumped the whole piece. Also because I thought that this was chopped, but no, I didn't chop it and I really didn't want to. So initially when I hauled this, I was a bit disappointed, but I think that's mainly on me because I clearly didn't read the fragrance notes. I thought this was legit just going to be a mango plus like milk, mango smoothie type scent. But no, this leans more tropical. And I got a lot of the papaya. And I thought that the papaya was a little bit too overwhelming, but when I went to go, or when I warmed it, I felt like the papaya mixed really well with the mango. I think this is a mango and a peach. Like the mango and peach notes in here are some that I can really get down with. I feel like recently I've been through some mango peach scents in candles that just didn't work out. But yeah, no, this one I like it. The lemon, I don't get too much of it, but it's definitely a really nice tropical scent. I would say the strength in the hallway in a candle crock was maybe a light medium. Again, it probably would have performed better in my hot plate, but this is one that I just wanted to see how it would do in a crock because before a few days ago, I hadn't tried Candles by Victoria scent shots in a candle crock. Okay, next we have, you know what, let me stick to small businesses. So this was a free sample that I got from a vendor called, I don't know if it's Athame and Alchemy or Athame and Alchemy. So I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. This isn't wax, but she did include this as a sample with my order. It's hand dipped incense cones in the scent Pink Dragon. There were, I think, 3 in here. The fragrance notes are dragon's blood, cedar, clove, sweet zesty lemon, tangerine, and watermelon notes dancing on top. So this honestly just reminded me of like, if you've ever been to, is it downtown LA by the fashion or garment district? There are a lot of like Asian shops and they have incense going. And this reminds me of it. I know that I got the watermelon, I was going to say on cold, but when I initially like opened the bag and smelled this, but honestly, when I had it going, I mainly got the incense, like the smell of the incense. So I don't know if maybe I had let these sit for too long or maybe just the notes kind of get lost when you go to light this up. But this was definitely strong. For one cone that wasn't broken, I would say it took about an hour to an hour and a half for it to fully break apart. I did have like a backflow incense burner that I got, where was it? From Ross or something. But I ended up returning it because it just seemed like from some reviews that I started watching afterwards that it wouldn't do the backflow action. So if I were to ever get incense, I would want a backflow one because this one, the flame, not flames, I guess the incense was going up in the air and I thought, oh no, I'm going to have to clean it or there's going to be spots in there. So yeah, this one wouldn't get this particular scent, but maybe if there's, I guess, more fruity scents, I would. Okay, next we have one Scentsy piece. This is in the scent Blueberry Cheesecake. So this one I got from Jeannie over at Jeannie Melt Scents from, I believe, a giveaway that she did. So this one, Blueberry Cheesecake. I don't have the fragrance notes, but I believe it's from 2023. So this one was super oily and like the wax clam was very goopy. So I used some in my 25-watt Scentsy warmer, and then the rest I used it in a 13-watt ceramic warmer, and they both performed. I think it did better in my 25-watt Scentsy warmer, but it did stain the dish. I mean, I was able to clean it out, but I think it was just because the oils had separated and it left that like brown, like the brown sludge or brown bits at the bottom of the wax. No, not the wax dish. Okay, so this scent to me smells more like an artificial blueberry. I don't get a lot of a cheese note from this. But I had another wax smelt from a small business called That Candle Place, and I think it's under the same name, Blueberry Cheesecake. Now I'm like questioning myself if I know what a blueberry cheesecake smells like. I mean, I think it doesn't smell like those wax pieces, but maybe I need to revisit this because they both smell the same, or maybe like one is a dupe of another. But yeah, to my nose, the blueberry was slightly artificial. I do like artificial blueberry scents. I like candy blueberry scents, realistic blueberry scents. Where am I going with this? Yeah, so this just smells slightly more artificial, candy type, but not really too sweet. I didn't get a lot of the cheesecake. Thankfully, this didn't lean sour. If there's a crust note or like a graham cracker crust or a crumble note, I didn't really get that. But yeah, this is one that I probably would repurchase again if I were to ever make another Scentsy order. But again, I have way too many wax pieces in my collection. Okay, next to the bulk of the empties, we have candles. Let me go on to the one candle that I gifted to my aunt, so I guess technically a declutter. And I gave her a Homeworks candle in the scent Orchard Nectar in a 4-wick. I think she's already finished this. It's so funny. I asked her because this was the first ever 4-wick that I gifted her. And I said, hey, how was it? Did it burn okay? Because, you know, Homeworks problems, especially with certain pour years. And she told me that there were no issues, but that the 3-wick candles that I've been giving her are stronger. So I guess that one was just on like the light medium side. I mean, she's burning it in a small room, but I can see if she's been burning like quote strong candles, that having one from Homeworks, she might need some adjustment periods or something. Anyways, this one smelled really nice. I believe the scent notes had like apple blossoms, maybe like outdoor leaves. This basically just reminded me of apples on a tree mixed in with some blossoms. Like, I don't know if that's possible to have both at the same time. I know it is for lemon trees. But yeah, this is one that I would not repurchase unless my aunt told me, hey, I really loved it, but she didn't. So that's a pass for now. Moving on to the empties that my sister finished up, we have Kringle's Bunny Hop. So okay, the fragrance notes are cake batter, strawberry chocolate, butter, vanilla frosting. All right, my sister just really likes this scent. She told me this was her comfort scent, and she would put this on closer to when she went to sleep. And she felt like she really liked the scent in the room as she was laying in bed or like unwinding or whatnot. The label is super cute. I think we did I don't know what I call it. I think it's like sibling scent sessions or something. Anyways, we did a combined review on this and she really liked it. I don't think this smells like a Neapolitan ice cream. I know some people have made that comment. Yeah, that just doesn't really come across to my nose. But my sister did tell me that she likes it enough to, whenever this goes down, hopefully, fingers crossed, sometime soon, she wants 2 of these. Initially, she wanted 1, but now she jumped up and wants 2. So the problem with this one is that it was super sooty and the flames got really large. So she had to limit her burn time to like 2.5 hours or do one of those like mid-burn trims. So maybe that's why the strength and throw were pretty good. I would say like medium for both or medium strong for both in her smaller bedroom. Again, if you want more specifics, check out the review. But yeah, this is one that she really likes and she will repurpose or reuse the jar after she cleans it once I give it to her. And the last time she wanted the lid for Neapolitan ice cream when I finished it, and I completely spaced and threw it away. Ugh, I felt so bad afterwards. But anyways, going on to another candle that my sister finished. This is Congrats from Homeworks. She got this, retail price, $14.99 from Home Goods. So this is a 2023 pour date. Fragrance notes, cotton candy, sugar plum confetti, raspberry sparkle, velvet cream. All right. Ooh, she wrote notes. So let me first show you how it looks like. So no real issues with the burn. Oh no, there were issues with the burn now that I'm thinking about it. So the wicks, I think, were shedding. So there was I'm having an issue with grammar today. So there was wick residue in the wax pool. On the lid, she wrote it was a light medium. There were black bits in the wax and that it had pulling issues. So sometimes she had to, yeah, sometimes she had to use a candle hurricane. This is a one and done for her. Here's how it looks like. So I believe I did a dedicated review for this maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And I remember thinking, okay, once my sister burns this candle, I want to check, I want to go into her room, smell, and see if the scent or the strength and throw improved. And coincidentally, it did improve. But I think when I reviewed it, I gave it maybe a 3 out of 10. So it was very, very low. But then when she burned it, it jumped up to a 5, which I mean, that's not like a great score or anything, but it definitely improved, especially if you're someone who has a bunch of candles and you're like, I can put my homeworks candles to the back burner for now. And I mean, I'd rather have a 5 than a 3. You feel me? So yeah, this is one that she would not repurchase. I really like the scent, and I think I got more of that like fizz bubbly note. What is it? The fragrance? Sparkle. Yeah. I got more of that note than I did initially, because I think when I did my review, I didn't really get that. But I think it was closer to when the candle was poured or manufactured. Okay, another candle that my sister finished up. I did a declutter and I gifted her 2 of my older Made in the USA Scentworks candles. This is a warm apple pie. This is one that I got at Ross, $8.99 when they got a random shipment. I feel like they no longer receive random shipments of homeworks candles. So I think that once I finish up the older style, that's going to be it. And I believe I only have one more. So this one, it's a 14.5 ounce. Again, I said made in the USA. Fragrance notes, Granny Smith apple, brown sugar, Macintosh cider, baked pie crust. Again, I feel like I always want more of that crust note, but this honestly doesn't smell like a pie candle scent to me. It smells more of like if this was called apple cider, I think that'd be a better name. My sister wasn't too familiar with cider candles. I think this was the first one she ever burned, and she said it was good. I'm not sure why she burned it during the summer or springtime. I don't know what season it is right now, but I think it's because she felt it was a little bit refreshing, so it kind of made sense. She's more of a seasonal burner, so yeah, this took me by surprise. And if you see right there, the wicks were thicker and they were really close together. This vessel got really hot, but she said no real issues. I believe the wax did get discolored. I mean, clearly you can't see now because the wax is practically gone. But yeah, the only issues is that this got really hot, and the wicks, yeah, and the flames were a little bit on the medium strong side, so I would have to trim this more than I normally would for her. So yeah, there's that cool vessel. One and done, and sadly, we can't really purchase any of this older style. Okay, this wouldn't be an empties video without my sister's CBD candle. This is one that she used for the month of May, her birth month, and she decided on pink prosecco. So this one says sugary fruity notes of strawberry, raspberry, and black currant, base notes of tonka, vanilla, and a hint of light musk. She got this on sale from $9.99 to maybe $8. Here is how it looks like, finished all the way down. So she always has this going when she's working. The scent itself, I would say that it is a very like fruity scent. I like that the raspberry and the strawberry are playing well together. And normally I don't like the scent of black currant because it could lean a little bit too tart green, but this one leans a little bit more refreshing. And the problem with these CBD candles that I always mention is that there's only one wick. And I feel like this diameter or this type of jar needs 2, because if you don't have this in a hurricane, this thing will definitely tunnel and it won't reach an even wax pool. And even in a hurricane, which that helps the tunneling issues, the scent is very light in her smaller office space. So again, she's just mainly using this for ambiance and the quote CBD effects that may or may not be in here. So this one she would repurchase, and I think she's getting a little bit desperate because we haven't found any, we really haven't found any candles at TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Home Goods. So good luck to her, because I believe online on their official website, this exact same candle on sale, it's $19. And I'm like, OMG, that's a lot. That's like double the price. So anyways, going on to another candle that she finished. This is a woodwick candle in a medium tumbler, trilogy series, Coastal Sunset, Seaside Mimosa, Island Coconut. So the problem with the trilogy candles in the large tumbler and the medium tumbler is that these layers aren't evenly dispersed. So top layer, like about that big. Middle layer, that big. Bottom layer, ooh, you really have to like the bottom layer. My sister really enjoyed Coastal Sunset, so I ended up gifting her one because I had a free candle for my birth month, which was in April. So I just gave it to her, and she really enjoyed it. And that one does have a coconut, I think, note in the background mixed in with other stuff. I think there's even like a citrus in there. But anyways, when she got to the bottom layer, I felt like she was kind of over this island coconut. I feel like the strength and throw of this wasn't really too great, but she mainly burns woodwick candles for the ambiance. Another thing that I like about woodwick candles is that they tend to put their darker layers at the top. So if you have any wax discoloration when the light layer comes into play, it kind of helps the appearance. So this one I did write notes. She said she would repurchase this in the ellipse, and I low-key think that I already did for her. And it says too much of the coconut, and her favorite layers were 1 and 2. Smiley face. Okay, going on to the last candle that my sister finished up. So I burned half of this candle and my sister burned the remaining half. And that's mainly because I noticed that she wasn't burning her Kringle lemon sugar marshmallow because there were burnt issues. And I felt like this candle was very similar. And that is this Caramel Sundays candle in Milk and Fruit Loops. Okay, so this one I purchased it, I want to say February. And while I'm not purchasing from Caramel Sundays anymore, I wanted to save this maybe closer to maybe July or something. But yeah, I felt bad because my sister just had her Kringle lemon sugar marshmallow there, but that candle has just been having a lot of performance issues, specifically with the burn. And so this one, she finished it no problem. So yeah, it performed well. But again, repurchase NA, not applicable, but I will keep the jar. I don't know if I should get this refill kit from another company, and I feel like this jar is good to reuse. Okay, since I already showed you Kringle lemon sugar marshmallow, this is not my sister's, this was mine, and I was able to correct the one that I did. Unfortunately, even though we did the trade, I tried to correct my sister's. I tried maybe on like 2 or 3 separate occasions, but it kept tunneling and the wicks kept getting puny. So I just said, hey, I know you mentioned wanting to put this in your candle crock. You can go ahead and do that because I have a full unburnt one besides this one. Okay, Kringle's lemon sugar marshmallow. This is a great scent. Fragrance notes: lemon, sweet, lemon zest, pastry, vanilla, sugar. Yeah, so this is a 2025 pour date. I do have one from 2026 in the smaller, I think, what was it? 16.5 ounce version that burns up to 85 hours. So hopefully the wick issues are resolved there, because I know the smaller jars tend to burn a little bit hotter. Anyways, so this is how it looked like. This one, the strength and throw is great. I would say maybe like medium strong. It burned pretty much all the way down, and low key, I think I could put this in my candle crock. So this one, I feel though that the scent did change slightly because once I fixed those wicks, I didn't look at them. I didn't trim them. I borderline was holding my breath each time I lit this up. I thought, please, wicks, don't get puny anymore. Like, I want to smell this fragrance, and I would ideally not want to put this underneath a lamp or in a candle crock. But yeah, this one is one that I will clean out the vessel to put my wick trimmer, what is it, candle lighter and stuff. I got that idea from Tracy over at the 3 Wick Pieces candle channel. My sister has her candle accessories in Jelly Donut because she really likes this scent, and I thought this is really cute. I really like the sparkle jar. So yeah, would repurchase that one, but hopefully, again, maybe in 2027, Kringle will have like their 3 wicks out, or like a 4 wick of that. Can you imagine? Lemon sugar marshmallow and 4 wick. But yeah, just hopefully those issues are resolved. Okay, going on to these two. Yeah, 2 small businesses. I did finish up another one from Caramel Sundays because it was already like maybe up to here or something. And I wanted to initially save it for the fall, but I thought, hey, let me make some room for other candles. So this one, I'll just say that it was really light right here, and then it picked up a little bit, but not really all that much. So on cold, I mainly got apple, followed by like the cotton candy note. I think there's like a popcorn note in here or something. It's a little hard to read. Oh, okay, right here. Spun cotton candy, toffee drizzle, warm butter, popcorn, crisp Macintosh apples. So what was I saying? I mainly got apple on cold, followed by the cotton candy. I feel like when I read popcorn or kettle corn or something, I want that to be a dominant note, and I feel like it wasn't in this case. Maybe I got salty nuances here and there, but yeah, I think just with cotton candy, that's a light fragrance. I don't think I've had a cotton candy scent that's super powerful. So yeah, this one, repurchase would be NA. Going on to another small business. Oh, but I will again maybe clean out that jar vessel. Okay, next, going on to another small business. We have one from the Gift Gala shop. This is in Wildflower Honey. The fragrances. Oh man, with the lighting and everything, I think it's like honeysuckle, lavender, honey, honeysuckle, lavender, and maybe honey. So this one, I finished it off in the kitchen because my mom really disliked the scent. And I feel like in my room, I think I gave the strength medium to medium strong, so it did perform well. I noticed that towards the bottom, it wasn't as strong as it was for the majority of the burn, so not sure what happened with that. Towards the end, it did get slightly discolored. I think I made a note. Yeah, like around right here, I noticed it was getting slightly discolored, or the wax was starting to get a little bit dark. This one just smells a little bit too much of, I don't know if it's too much of the lavender or the type of lavender that's used, but it smells very like herbal and medicinal to me. But again, I feel like going forward, I think with small businesses, I'll just stick to set notes that I know that I love. So I won't really risk the chance of getting a candle that I don't really care for or I don't like or something. But yeah, in the kitchen, I think this played really well. I want to say there's like a rosemary note in here too. Yeah, so I feel like that's, spices in the kitchen. Hello. And then here's how it looks like. I do want a lid, and I don't necessarily want this like cork lid, so I'm going to just empty or recycle this candle vessel. Wouldn't repurchase a scent, but then again, I don't really like the lavender notes. Well, then again, I just bought a candle from Kringle that I thought was going to go to my sister because it had a lavender note, but I ended up really liking it. Okay, next, moving on to a candle that was highly disappointing. I bought it at Home Goods for $12.99. This is from the brand Milk House in the scent Vanilla Cream. I really like this handle, so I think I will I will repurpose this jar. So unfortunately, while this burned so cleanly, no Klingon wax or anything, well, I mean, just the regular soy wax, this one was, yeah, just very light. I had it in my bathroom and it was just burning because I felt like in my room I was getting a whole lot of nothing. Right now, when I open up the jar of the candle, I can smell this very nice, sweet vanilla, almost like vanilla bean ice cream. And I wish I got some of this while it was burning. I maybe should have put this in a candle crock, but hello, I wanted to keep the handle. So this kind of got in the way. And I could have put it underneath my candle lamp. But again, I do want to reuse the jar. So this one, sadly, it didn't work out, but I will continue to purchase from Milk House, maybe only when I find them on sale at either Home Goods, TJ Maxx, or Marshalls. But I will not repurchase Vanilla Cream again. So sad because I really like that scent. Oh no, I went out of order, but I didn't notice that my sister finished up another candle like just yesterday. That is from Kringle's discontinued country candle line in the scent Strawberry Lemonade. Going like hindsight being 2020, I should have purchased more of these country candles so that I could put in the crock because this one performed so well in her crock. It also burned really well. I would give the strength and throw in her smaller bedroom space, medium again for projection. But right around here, the wicks got super puny. I think I soaked up some wax and it just never came back to life. So here's how it looks like after she put it in her candle crock. I want to say for a good month or so. And the scent is really, really nice. My sister and I really like strawberry lemonade, watermelon lemonade, yeah, and those types of scents, I can barely smell anything. So she did a really good job at using up all that was left. This one performed well up until the halfway mark. So, I mean, I just wish I would have gotten some of the other scents. Like, I think they had watermelon pops. I think they had other lemonade plus fruit scents. So, yeah, this one was good. Unfortunately, we can't repurchase that. Okay, going on to a scent that I believe I got this in friend mail a year or two ago from Emily over at the Candle Nurse. I think now she's going through a rebrand and her handle name might be Cellar in Ash. But she gifted me an iced sweet tea from Goose Creek. And this thing was so strong, man. It was broken, so I ended up repotting it into this blueberry maple pancakes, an older label. I think there's glass shards in here, so I won't open them. Anyways, I think I used about half of the candle a year ago. And then the rest of them, I thought, okay, I really don't want to kind of make this candle into wax melt pieces. Let me just plop everything in my candle crock. And that went on forever and ever. And I think now I realize that I don't really care for scents that smell like sweet tea packets. I feel like I like more of a brew tea. And for some reason, I get more of the powder form in this one. I do really enjoy the lemon note in here. I think it's a really good summer scent. So while I wouldn't repurchase this scent, I think it did so well. It performed well. I want to say it was like medium strong. I don't know how it would have performed had it been in a candle, but in my crock, it did great. Okay, that is it for candles, but I do have one kind of miscellaneous home fragrance care item, and that is for my dad. I gave him this Yankee Candle car jar in the scent balsam and cedar. He had this in his car, and I honestly don't know if this performed because normally these Yankee Candle car jars do not work unless they're in like a very prominent scent, like maybe a cologne scent or something. But I really like smelling this right now. So I think I'll put this in his closet. This one smells like a very, very sweet balsam, like a balsam tree scent. I honestly, if I were to see this in wax melts, I would purchase it. Or maybe a candle on discount, of course. I know it says cedar, and while I can detect that, it doesn't smell like a freshly cut Christmas tree or anything, or like chopping wood. It just is a really nice scent. So that one, I would repurchase that scent, but not in that car jar. Going on to something that my sister finished up, she hated this. She loathed every second of it. And that is this poopery in the scent whipped almond. I think I think she told me that some of her like least popular fragrance notes or fragrance notes that she tends to avoid, almond has made that cut. And I don't know if it's because of this product specifically, but the only I think nut scent or note that she likes is hazelnut, like pistachio, almonds she doesn't care for, pecans she doesn't like. And I think this was just too foodie and gourmand to use as a toilet spray. So unfortunately for her, she's been scarred by that poopery whipped almond scent. I also personally would want to use it, but I mean, she powered through it, so not a repurchase, of course. Okay, and very quickly, we have toothpaste that I finished up. This is Crest Cavity Protection. I've already repurchased this, really like it. It smells a little bit like root beer to me, and I think that might be, I Googled it, and Google AI said it might be the wintergreen note in here, or some people do get that smell from toothpaste. Going along with that toothpaste, I already went to my dentist appointment. I go 3 times a year because I'm overly paranoid and I have a bad dental health history. So each time I go, I change out my toothbrush. And this one, I just personally feel like I didn't like that this thing stuck out. So the one that I have going now does not have that feature. It's a different shape, but it's a little bit too bulky. So there's that. And then lastly, we have a laundry care item that I finished up. This one I got a free from Influencer. It's Gain Plus. When I tell you, okay, so this thing's ripped, and when I got this product, half of the liquid detergent spilled in the bag. Thankfully, there was a bag in there. So I just poured that sucker into into the washing machine. But yeah, this is a really good scent. The one that I think my family uses is the Aroma Boost, but this one worked well too. Our washing machine died a few months ago, or maybe a year ago, but the older style, you were able, like, I don't know if people have an older washing machine or remember this, but ours used to be like we could put I want to do a small load, I can do a medium load, large. But now it didn't have that. And I don't know if it's how the washing machine or the new ones work, but the Tide powder detergent that we would use would kind of clump up and just stay there. So we tried dissolving that originally, but that didn't work. The clothes would still be a little sticky. So detergent is the way to go. Maybe it's a conspiracy a conspiracy between the people who manufacture laundry care and the washing machine people. I don't know. But yeah, this one's good. Order purchase. And I think you can find this at Costco for a bigger size or in a bigger size. All right, so those are all my empties for the month of May. Let me know if you have any questions and I hope you have a great day. Okay, bye.